Hi, my name is Zara Pfeiffer.
Hi, my name is Raya Arthur, and our project title is Does pH Matter? So, the first question is what does the title of our project mean to us? So, the title of our project is called, obviously, like I said before, Does pH Matter? And to us, it means if the pH of water, spring water, tap water, Dasani water, and Fiji water, which is the different waters we tested, and we wanted to see which one affects the growth of our bullfrog tadpoles. So, why we chose this project? We chose this project because we both share the love for animals, and we also wanted to do something related to raising a pet frog, like any pet, honestly, but we particularly chose a pet amphibian. So, the purpose of our project was to determine if different types of waters affected the growth or the energy level of our bullfrog tadpoles. So, our procedure.
We purchased four different types of water. Well, we already had tap water. We got spring
Uh-huh.
water, Fiji, and Dasani. Then we poured about 2 to 3 inches of water into each plastic tub. We purchased these tubs at Dollarama for money saving, but you could also use glass tanks.
Mhm.
Second, we adjusted the temperatures to make sure it was the same temperature as the water that they came in from the packaging. The average water temperature should be around 15 to 20 Celsius. Then we test the pH to make sure that the water that we're going to use is around this, like the beneficial pH, like none of the pHs would be deadly or, yeah. Once the tadpole is adjusted to the new water, we slowly acclimated them by separating them into little cups and slowly adding drops of the new water, their new home, into that and just slowly adjusting them to the new temperature, pH. And once they were all adjusted, then we set up everything, put in the filters, and let them sit.
So, once our tadpoles had fully developed their back legs, we add a rock to their tank. This provides them with an area to grow and to strengthen their back legs. And it also gives them a dry land to explore. So then we recorded which tadpoles grew their legs first, which ones just survived, and their water condition each week. When we discovered that spring water was the most effective water that made our tadpoles grow the most, and we realized that when we changed our last tadpole left in Fiji water, we noticed that the other waters had more bacteria growth and algae.
These different containers over a period of 5 weeks, we found that spring water, due to it being naturally collected through rainwater, had not the proper materials and bacteria to sustain healthy living organisms. Fiji, although it seemed pretty decent for raising tadpoles, it didn't affect their activity level. They were really well. It was the dirtiest. The water would turn brown, murky, so it's a pain to clean.
Yeah.
With Dasani, we discovered that because of the artificial minerals put in, it boosts the algae growth. So we decided that that's not really healthy. Well, algae is good because tadpoles feed on it,
Mm.
but that level of algae growth is not sustainable. We came to our conclusion that tap water was the best overall, covered all the fields, and once we finished our testing after the 5 weeks of observations, we moved all the remaining tadpoles into tap water. How can our results be applied in the real world? First of all, aquatic pet owners. For raising your own aquatic animals, we kind of want to bring like recognition. We want to bring recognition to pH because it is really important It's kind of the barrier between how the living organisms and plants in the enclosure can correlate and help each other to survive. We also found that any zoos like Ripley's Aquarium, they have a lot of water, so it must be struggle to manage that pH. So maybe learning on how different water being used can affect the pH, they can take that into consideration and raise their animals to be more healthy. And also, we found that a lot of younger students do projects or learn about like the tadpole cycle. Um, this could also help with how they grow, just seeing the process of them growing legs.
Yeah, and it can also help with like people in middle school who are like want doing around the same project as us and they want to know information based off of like our project that could help.
Yeah. What was the most difficult part of your project and how did you problem solve? Well, the most obvious one, COVID. We're lucky since our families are really close, so we got to meet up once a week to help, or I to help clean and monitor. Another problem we came across was the ownership problem of the documents and not having access to certain documents because the other one owned it. How
Mhm.
we problem solved is for each document, whoever has ownership over the document would put their name first and the other person's name second, just to show who owns it for us to know that. The other problem is money. We found that purchasing the waters every week to replace.
We
So
also really struggled finding small filters for our tank, which was really hard.
yeah, if we could extend our project, we would definitely record more weeks and just their entire growth. Also, we could study more on how the water aquatic plants are affected by pH
Mhm.
and temperature. Next question. How did you use the scientific method? Well, first we came together and made our purpose. Then we made our hypothesis, estimating what would happen with each water, each temperature, and how that would affect the tadpoles. Then we constructed a procedure, we followed it, and that led us to our testing period, which lasted 5 weeks. And at the end of our testing, we came to our conclusion. We formed our results.